Also, on top of that, you know, there's the Lantern series, which has been a Max original series. And then there's Harry Potter, Max original series. Pokemon Dream, Max original series. Well, now HBO and Warner Brothers is kind of going back and forth about this whole Max thing. And they're like, maybe we don't call them Max shows anymore. We call them HBO shows. What does that mean? Let's talk about that as we do our feature story of the night. This is kind of a big deal because for a long time when they branded HBO Max down to Max, they said, oh, everything's Max Original, Max Original, Max Original. Well, now they're changing their mind and they've realized that the name HBO means something. Duh. Yep. We said that how many times? HBO home box office has fucking staying power. Max has nothing. Max might as well be a fucking porn shop on your corner that got shut down last week. You know what I mean? Nobody gives a fuck about Max. And so now they're realizing that, so they're taking Harry Potter series, a new series. They're taking Lanterns, the DC series. They're taking Welcome to Dreary, and they're like, we're going to brand this HBO now. HBO original. But the question that comes to that is like, well, what happens with Max? Well, they're still saying they're going to go airing on HBO, the channel itself, but then on streaming as well. But I think this is a whole like thing that's going to break down further than this. I think this comes down to is them realizing that when they changed their name to HBO Max to Max, they fucked up big time. And I think that's what this is. And I think this Max is going to be gone soon. I think the HBO is going to wipe it away. We're going to find a new name. It's rebrand. It's a whole rebrand thing. That's a hard thing to do after you rebranded already multiple times. But if you're already going to start naming your other shows that are big shows moving forward, they want to do it with Penguin, but then they're like, that's too far gone. So wait until 2025. So everything come out in 2025 and beyond, these big production, big budget things will become HBO. This is a bigger thing, though, I think, too, on top of that, because it's been a rumor for a long time that Zaslav has been trying to build Warner Brothers up to sell it off. And so maybe he realizes that he's fucking with the Warner Brothers brand, the HBO brand, by calling it Max and making it less sellable to a future person that might buy the whole conglomerate up at once. But I think this is going to do a lot of things. I think Max will be shut down within that year. I think we're going to change that. That's what I think. And these are still going to stream on Max, but I don't think it'll be Max at that point when these come out. I think this is like a whole understand that we fucked up. We have to go back and fix it now. And or do that, we got to rebrand one more time. And I think this is a small, minute thing they're doing right now that's going to become a big snowball effect in the future, which makes sense to me. They should never fucking change from HBO Max from the get-go. I don't get it. You have Max, you have HBO, you bought, you know, Discovery, that's there now. You got news, you got CNN, you got sports, you got all that. It's already got DC. It's already a Max network, HBO Max. We're covering everything before. Why we gotta change the name? It was the dumbest shit in the beginning. It's dumb now. It's just fucking dumb. And they understand it's dumb. They took them how long to realize it's dumb? It's dumb. Sean, is this them just fucking up and at the end of the day they finally realize it? Or is this gonna like, are they gonna just like shit on Max and like dump the whole thing?
I think for me it's more about WB realizing what they've given up by trying to force a new brand within this, right? Like the name recognition, the characters, everything that this could have been, they went for something new. And obviously that's hurt them in some kind of brand confusion. People who grew up with a real HBO or you know, turning it on for movie premieres, right? It's different now. It's a different kind of beast. It's disappointing, obviously. I mean, especially like I just don't want this to fuck up the Green Lantern series. I know
it sounds so good.
Like of all the stuff with Gunn, yeah, that one. But no, I do think this is a little bit of a course correction. I think this is a little bit of like, excuse you know, give me a break here. My apologies, but yeah, I never really understood it. They forced you to download a new app. They had to get rid of the other.
You're
one.
right.
Yeah, it's disappointing. Like, yeah, I think WB didn't really recognize or respect the power that name kind of had because they had more control of the other one. So, yeah, it's sad, but you know, these things happen. It's good to see that they're willing to maybe admit it.
Course correct, maybe.
Course correct. Give it a chance.
It might be that. I saw Racer X what they have. Well, they have like Turner Classic Movies under here too. They had the Harry Potter movies. Those kind of moved on. They licensed them out like they're doing everything. They're licensing everything off because they realize they fucked up, I think. I don't know why they licensed everything off. They've been doing that. And I think that on top of that, it's like all these big shows. They're just trying to change and make it HBO home box office, use the brand name again, and then restructure everything. That's what's going to happen. It just has to happen. What do you think, Trevor? Did you see the writing on the wall with this when they rebranded from HBO Max to Max? Is this just something you were expecting to hear any day soon, or is this like, oh, you guys, I didn't realize, like, maybe we all just should have figured this out a long time ago?
I don't know, man. The whole thing has been just such a clusterfuck, like from start to end, top to bottom. Yeah, once Zaslav came in and like started cleaning house, like I was following it really closely, like in the beginning, and then I just got so burnt out on like watching them like destroy all this culture for tax write-offs. I haven't even been paying attention to them anymore.
Preach.
Yeah, it's a mess. But like, who are they even like? If he is building up the brand to sell it off again, like who are they even going to sell it to at this point?
The one big name right now to this day has still been Universal. That Universal, they've been kind of like trying to put together so Universal would buy the whole thing. But that's behind closed doors. A lot of people have been talking about that for a long time in the trades, and also like, deadline and all that.
Universal doesn't want half of it though. They only want some of it.
That's the thing. You're right.
They want Harry Potter, but they don't want like a bunch of the like other shit. They probably want the DC stuff. They probably just
want the DC stuff.
They want the big IPs, but they don't want all the, they don't want to clean their house either. There's probably a bunch of garbage in there that they're probably like, which I don't think is garbage, but I think that to them, they're like, I don't want this, and I don't want to deal with that, and I don't want to deal with, the repercussions of that, and I don't want that, and, that kind of crap. So there's probably a bunch of that going on. But like, as far as like the chat was saying, a brand name means everything. I think that's like, who doesn't pay attention to a brand name? Everyone pays attention to a brand name.
Everyone does.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Why do you think Balenciaga still exists? Why do you think, people pay for Versace? Why do you think whatever? It's all in the name. It's all that matters. I'm like, HBO means something. Yeah. Like, like the fact that they took the HBO off and they just called themselves Max, people were pissed. I was pissed. I was like, this isn't HBO anymore. And they were like, then they went, I'm going to take HBO and I'm going to combine it with Discovery Channel. Do you know how that felt to somebody like me? That felt like taking like craft dinner and combining it with fine dining. Like, ew, it's disgusting. I don't want Discovery Channel mixed in with my HBO. I go to HBO because I watch film. I watch high class television. Mm-hmm. I watch The Sopranos, and I watch really, really good documentaries that actually have well thought out information in them. And you're giving me 600-pound housewife and, house flippers.
MILF Manor.
And you're mixing it in to my, pate. Ew, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you doing this? The day that you did that, I was offended. Now, when you brought WB into the mix, I was like, okay, a little Chardonnay, a little bit of like steak, a little whatever. You got a nice mix here. I'm happy with this. I can take some of this over here and put this with this. We can make this work. We can find a way to mix these restaurants together, but we can't mix, fucking Taco Bell over here with this. This is not okay. Like, seriously, who's the demographic and market who's watching Discovery Channel and, all like the Lifetime Network and all that kind of stuff, like, or not like, TLC. That's what I was thinking of. Those channels. And I'm not saying that I don't watch this stuff either. Sometimes I like Taco Bell, but I don't want them mixed together. Like, when I'm in the mood for a very particular kind of thing, I'm not going to HBO for that kind of palette. I mean, don't get me wrong. I get real HBO. I love that show. That show was great, and that one we used to deal with the cadavers. It was that Autopsy. I love that show. But like, that's as raunchy as that channel ever got. Like, that was as low class as we ever got. And even those shows were still educational in comparison to anything that's on Discovery. What, American Chopper? Go fuck yourself. Like, I'm just, I don't know what you are, how you could think that, and then you took that and you went and you looked at the HBO things and you went, I'm going to clean house by throwing out all of the good, like, quality content. I'm going to take brand new shows that were just made, quality shows that were just made, and throw them in the trash. Stuff that people can't even watch anymore. Stuff like, the one that was made by the guy who did Regular Show, that really, really great animated show that he did for adults. It was, I can't remember what he did. It was like three seasons and it was gone out the window. Or Infinity Train, or all these other animated series that he did that were just like thrown in the trash. Because let me tell you, animation is the one thing they have no problem throwing in the trash whatsoever. They're like, oh, animated series, gone. Like, unless it's Teen Titans Go, like, they're just going to throw it in the trash. Like,
oh, Teen Titans.
and so it's like, what are we doing here anymore? Like, there's no programming on Cartoon Network even at this point. So I don't know what you're bringing over. I don't know what you're hoping to gain with these actions when you're melding so many of these things together and then eliminating so much content from each one of them. You're not bringing any of the old content out for any of us to watch, because Cartoon Network has a slew of old shows that we could be watching on your channels. You know, Discovery Channel does have a bunch of old stuff that we could be watching. HBO has a plethora of wonderful old content that we could be watching. You're not giving us any of that. So you're just withholding anything that's worth watching, and you're just whatever. Where are we getting? What are we gaining? What are we doing with this? And like, as far as the brand names are concerned, like, just taking them and throwing them in the trash, like, everybody would be much happier to see an HBO with all of HBO's content. We would pay more money for a singleized HBO streaming service and a singleized WB streaming service than this mess that you've taken, where you've just shrink wrapped everything together and given it to us in a ball, and we just kind of hope we'll get something. This is why YouTube's winning. This is why YouTube's winning in all of the streaming stuff. Remember I sent you that article? This is why they're winning.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because they're making a mess of everything right now.
They just don't understand what to do with it. And it's like, and I think they forget what brand does fucking matter. And I think they forget about that. And it's like, just at the end of the day, they had the biggest band, the best brand ever when they had HBO, and they just like fucked it up. And now they're just trying to like go back and forth and figure it out, but it's kind of too far gone, but maybe they'll figure it out. And like, I saw somebody else say about like what, I think it was Queen said that Zaslav's trying to destroy. I feel like Zaslav's trying to navigate to sell it off. I think it's always been a sell thing. I think he's always been trying to find a way to sell it off.
WB, just stop.
Thanks, Peppy. I think he's just trying, they're just trying to fucking figure it out. I mean, and for me, at the end of the day, this is one of those sad things that's like home box office. What a brand. You know, I remember being a kid hearing about that home box office. And it's like, that's means something. Max means nothing. And Zaslav, if you're a real fucking person trying to figure out what to do with this brand, maybe this is your first start. Make it HBO again. Bring back the HBO and fuck the Max.
James Gunn's Suicide Squad didn't fail. The first Suicide Squad failed.
Yeah, you're confusing there's two different Suicide Squad movies. It's very confusing. I understand that.
It is. And they're called Suicide Squad and The Suicide Squad. So it's even more confusing. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's happening. They're going to HBO. What will that mean? What will that matter? What will it change? What will it evolve into? We'll find out very soon. And only Zaslav knows for now, but we will know before you know. And then we'll all know together as one cohesive unit.